Imagine a man tries to steal the crown jewels, and instead of punishment, he's rewarded. This isn't fiction. It happened in London, centuries ago. The man was Colonel Thomas Blood. He nearly pulled off the most daring heist in English history. The crown jewels, symbols of royal power, are kept in the heavily guarded Tower of London. For generations, no one dared to steal from the tower. But in 1671, Blood decided to try. England was still recovering from civil war and the execution of King Charles I. The country was unstable, and the new king, Charles II, was on the throne. When news broke that someone had tried to steal the crown jewels, it shocked the nation. This wasn't just about money. It was a direct challenge to royal authority. Blood was no ordinary thief. He was a rebel and an adventurer. To understand his plan, we need to understand the man. He was shaped by a time of upheaval and uncertainty. The crown jewels represented more than wealth. They were the heart of the monarchy. Blood's attempt was a statement. Even the most powerful symbols could be threatened. His story quickly became legend. Why risk everything? For Blood, it was about more than riches. It was about making history. He was a man willing to gamble everything for a chance at greatness. This is the story of how he almost got away with it, and how, against all odds, he changed history. Who was Colonel Thomas Blood? Born in Ireland around 1618, Blood grew up during war and chaos. He fought as a soldier in the English Civil War, earning his title. Blood was clever, charming, and always looking for adventure. He thrived on risk and danger. After the war, he lost everything: his land, his money, his status. Forced into hiding, he became an outlaw, using disguises and false names. Blood wasn't new to bold schemes. He tried to kidnap a duke and seize Dublin Castle. He was a man who thought big and wasn't afraid to challenge the powerful. Desperate for money and revenge, he saw the crown jewels as the ultimate prize. Blood was a mix of soldier, gentleman, rebel, and thief. He was smart, brave, and driven by desperation. Stealing the crown jewels was the perfect plan for a man with nothing left to lose. It was a way to strike back at the king who had taken everything from him. Blood's life was a series of risks and near misses. He was always one step ahead of the law. His charm and cunning made him dangerous. The Tower of London was his next target. For Blood, this was more than a crime. It was a chance to make his mark on history. He was ready to risk it all. The stage was set for one of the boldest heists ever attempted. Blood was about to walk into the lion's den, and he was determined to walk out with the crown. To steal the crown jewels, Blood needed more than courage. He needed a brilliant plan. The jewels were kept in the Martin Tower, guarded by Talbot Edwards and his family. Blood saw an opportunity. Visitors could pay to see the jewels. Instead of breaking in, he would use deception. Blood disguised himself as a parson, a trusted churchman. He wore black, donned a fake white beard, and brought a woman posing as his wife. Together, they appeared to be a respectable couple from the countryside. The disguise was perfect. No one suspected a parson of plotting theft. Blood's charm and false identity got him close to the jewel keeper. He called himself Parson Blood, acting humble and polite. The Edwards family welcomed him, never guessing his true intentions. Blood's plan relied on trust. He needed to be invited inside. His disguise was the key to the tower. Every detail was calculated. Blood wasn't just a brute. He was a master strategist. He understood people and how to win their confidence. The first step of his plan was complete. He was inside the fortress. Now, he just needed to wait for the perfect moment. The game had begun, and Blood was playing to win. Parson Blood and his wife visited the tower, asking to see the crown jewels. Talbot Edwards, the elderly keeper, welcomed them warmly. He led them to the strong room, proudly showing the crown, orb, and scepter. Suddenly, Blood's wife pretended to fall ill, a clever distraction. The Edwards family, eager to help, took her upstairs to rest. Blood thanked them profusely, deepening their trust. A few days later, Blood returned, not to see the jewels, but to thank the Edwards family. He brought Mrs. Edwards a gift of white gloves, a thoughtful gesture. This was all part of his plan: build a relationship, gain trust. The Edwards family saw him as a kind, honest parson. Blood's visits became more frequent. He was no longer just a visitor, he was almost family. The keeper had no idea he was being set up. Blood's patience and charm were working. He was laying the groundwork for the heist. Every visit brought him closer to the jewels. The Edwards family never suspected a thing. Blood's plan was unfolding perfectly. Soon, he would make his move. The stage was set for the crime of the century. The tower's greatest secret was about to be tested. Blood's charm paid off. He became a trusted friend of the Edwards family. He suggested his nephew might marry their daughter, thrilling the family. This clever ruse gave Blood a reason to visit often. The Edwards family, excited by the prospect, eagerly agreed to meet the nephew. Blood set a date, May 1671, at 7 in the morning. The family prepared for a happy occasion, not suspecting a thing. Blood's plan was nearly complete. He had access, trust, and the perfect cover. The Edwards family was focused on a wedding, not a robbery. Blood's patience and manipulation had paid off. The final act was about to begin. The tower was about to witness its most infamous crime. The Edwards family had no idea what was coming. Blood was ready. May 9th, 1671. Blood arrived at the tower with 3 accomplices, one posing as the rich nephew. All were armed, hidden beneath their cloaks. Talbot Edwards welcomed them, expecting a family meeting. Blood asked if his friends could see the crown jewels while they waited. The old keeper agreed, leading them to the jewel room. He unlocked the door in the cabinet, revealing the glittering treasures. For a moment, the men admired the crown, orb, and scepter. Then, as Edwards turned his back, the plan sprang into action. Weeks of preparation had led to this moment. The friendly visit was over. The heist was about to begin. The tower's silence was about to be shattered. Blood was ready to strike. As soon as Edwards turned, Blood and his men attacked. They gagged and beat the old keeper, but he fought back bravely. Blood grabbed the crown, flattened it with a mallet, and stuffed it in a bag. His son tried to saw the scepter in half, while another stuffed the orb down his trousers. Suddenly, Edward's son John, home unexpectedly, heard the commotion. He burst in, shouting, "Treason! The crown is stolen!" The alarm rang out through the tower. Blood and his men panicked, dropping the half-sawn scepter. They fled with the crown and orb, racing for the exit. The element of surprise was gone. Guards and residents were alerted. The quiet heist had turned into a desperate escape. Blood's careful plan was unraveling. The tower was in chaos. The thieves were running for their lives. The chase was on. Blood and his gang ran for the river, hoping to escape on horseback. The alarm spread quickly. Guards and a crowd gave chase. Blood fired at a guard but missed. They reached their horses at St. Catherine's docks, but the crowd was closing in. One accomplice was caught immediately. Blood mounted his horse, but Captain Beckman tackled him to the ground. The flattened crown tumbled out, rolling in the dirt. The heist was over. Blood and his men were captured and returned to the tower, this time as prisoners. The stolen items were recovered. The old keeper, though badly injured, survived. News of the attempted theft spread across London. People were stunned by Blood's audacity. Everyone expected a swift, harsh punishment. But King Charles II had other plans. The story was about to take an even stranger turn. Blood, now a prisoner, refused to speak to anyone but the king. To everyone's shock, King Charles II agreed to meet him. Blood faced the king with confidence, impressing him with his wit and boldness. He argued that he was desperate but capable, and hinted at powerful friends. The king, amused and intrigued, made a stunning decision. Instead of execution, Blood was pardoned and set free. Not only that, the king granted him land in Ireland worth a fortune. The man who tried to steal the crown was rewarded, while the brave keeper, Edwards, received little and died in poverty. Why did the king do it? Some say he admired Blood's daring. Others suspect political motives. The truth remains a mystery. Blood became a legend, living out his days as a notorious figure in London. His story is stranger than fiction, a thief who nearly stole the heart of the monarchy and won the king's favor. Sometimes, history is more surprising than any tale. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe for more incredible moments from the past. We uncover the most unexpected events in history every week. Thanks for watching. Until next time.